Hi everyone, welcome to Blue Pips Forex. For those who are new here, I'm Francis. So this week was a very good week, although I didn't maximize the potentials of this week to the fullest, but overall I think it was a very good week. So without wasting any time, let's get to the video. But before we do that, please support the channel by subscribing. Also, don't forget to turn on the bell notification. Please do this while the intro and disclaimer plays. So for pound JPY, you can see that this one also has a channel that is in play. As at last week, I was just using trend lines, but I decided to start using channel because channels give you an idea of the highs. For upward channel, it gives an idea of the higher highs to watch out for. Then for downward channels, it gives an idea of the lower lows to watch out for. So over here now, you can see that we have two touches of the channel at the top right there. And here we have 1, we have 2, and then now we have 3. And now we have the price around that channel support again, which could easily mean that it wants to make another move upwards, at least probably into these highs again. So, and this has been on an uptrend too for a very long time. So just come back to the candlestick and see the patterns it's forming. Alright, so this is the candlestick here, and we can already see that it's been on a downtrend here. Correction, impulse, correction, impulse. So we want to see change around here from a selling market to a buying market. Then once that happens, that's when I'm going to be looking for a reason to take a buy trade on pound JPY. Alright, so this is the trade playing out. So I went out today just after taking the trade. I left the house, so I didn't really have enough time to record the chart from the very beginning. I was able to record just immediately after I came back from where I went to. By that time the price was almost close to my objective already, so just kept recording from there. So I had to speed up the video so I don't waste time. So here we go. And no one funny thing about this market, the price came just this close to taking my objective, very close to my objective, but for some reason the price just decided to start playing around there. Can you imagine? See where my take profit objective is. Look at where the price was, and that was the exact area where the price decided to start doing some kind of funny movement, playing with me. And I was like, see, after that pin bar that formed, that bullish pin bar, I was interested in the price completing that move, but it just stopped and started slowing down. If it were to be stop loss, I would have taken my stop loss by now. But because of it is TP, I don't know how the market does this. It just decided to start playing. So at some point I just closed it. When the thing started, after I closed below that week, I just decided to close the trade because there was no point leaving it to run again. So that was basically how I closed this one with profit. At least about $80 profit, a little over $80. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. On pound USD now, what we can see is that it's on a downtrend. It's been on a downtrend for a while, and right now it's like we are going to have an opportunity to take a trade on this, but we don't know yet. We don't know for sure until the opportunity comes. First of all, you see that there's this channel, one touch, another touch down here, we had another touch down, we had the third touch down here before the move up to resistance at that point. Then we had several touches down here, and we had moved back up to resistance again, and then since then we've had the price dropping. So we can expect continuation lower on pound USD. So when I'll be looking to take an entry will be around this zone where the price is currently at right now. So what I want is a reason for entry. If I get an entry reason from this top here, then I'm good to go. I'm ready to take a sell trade on pound JPY. Alright, so today was a very good day in the market. I was able to take a trade on pound USD. So I expected to pick entry from somewhere around the week of this bullish pin bar, but for some reason the price just decided to come all the way down here. So I picked my entry from there, and as usual, I speed up the video so that we don't waste too much time on this. So I had to be very patient on this trade anyways, although it did not end the way I expected it to end, but I was very patient. As in, this trade was one of the most straightforward trades. It didn't even stay in drawdown at all. Just immediately after execution, the price started moving. Although it wasted a couple of hours just consolidating, but it wasn't consolidating in drawdown, it was consolidating in profit. Then it just kept moving. So this is part of the consolidation that was happening. Pulled back, but ultimately it still made that move downward that I was expecting. So all this was just happening. Normally, if you see bullish pin bars, you panic, but as far as you are sure of your direction, you know that the trend is down, you don't have anything to worry about. So I just stayed in this trade regardless of everything that was going on, all this noise that was happening. I just stayed and waited for the trade to do its move. It took a couple of hours anyways, but I had to cut it because I was running low on battery power. So at the end of the day, I closed the day with about $25. Okay, $27. Then by the time you remove commission, $25. That was what I closed the day with. Today could have actually closed with up to $95, but something happened that made me not close with that amount of money, of which I'm going to explain that in the conclusion of this video, so stick around till that time. Pound USD is still on a downtrend. So for pound USD is still on a downtrend. If we come to the 4 hours time frame, let's look at it. Alright, it's still on a very good downtrend. So what I'm going to be looking for is for it to come into this area. And if it comes into this area, this is the area I'll start looking for reasons to go short on pound USD. If it just breezes through the area, then there's no trade. Maybe when it gets to this area, we can then reconsider and do a full analysis to see the possible direction that it's going to be taken next. Alright, so I was able to get an entry on pound USD, although I went out today, so I wasn't really settled. I couldn't settle down to monitor the trade properly, so I had to close the trade prematurely, but I took the trade and this is the playout. So just not long after I took the trade, it moved straight into profit and didn't waste any time. So trade just kept running and I was already like 1-to-1 up because I'm risking $50 in the trade. I was already over 1-to-1 up on the trade, so I just left it to run and it was good. But when I was about leaving where I went to, I couldn't keep monitoring the trade, so I just had to close it where it was. And after I closed it where it was, the price still made an impressive move to the downside. In fact, the thing took out my objective for that day. So that was it. So for pound JPY, so from the 1 hour time frame, you can see that we first of all had this ascending channel. We had one here, we had another touch up here, we had 2 touches down here, then we had another touch up here, and now we have the price touching that high again. So what this could simply mean is that the price is about to make another move down to this channel support right here, and that's not wrong. However, by the time we drop to the 15 minutes time frame, it's obvious that we are still on an uptrend. You can see that since the price made this high, higher low, higher high, there've not really been any higher low yet. So chances are that the price could from this area continue upward to this area. We are on an uptrend anyway. So what I'm expecting to see the price do is make a move back into these highs again. Then once the price gets there, I'm going to stay out of the market and see how the price will react to the area before I make a decision, probably for tomorrow. So if on the other hand, the price will just continue to push downwards all the way, then it is when it gets to this area, that's when I'll start looking for a reason to go long on pound JPY. So that's my take on pound JPY. Alright, so I got an opportunity to take a trade on pound JPY, and this is it playing out. Normally after I get an entry, I just like my stop loss to be below everything, although I'm always skeptical because of stop loss hunt. But this is it playing out. And as usual, I have to speed it up so I don't waste time. So over here, the price came as much as $45, $45. Then started pulling back down. Then just around that time, pound had an event, and the event pushed the price down. I think the event, this was the event, pushed the price straight into drawdown. But I was still confident in the direction, so I just left it and allowed it to play out. Overall, this trade lasted for up to 7 hours. I think up to 7 or 8 hours. It came back, and at some point it started playing around my entry position. It stayed there for a couple of hours. Just come to entry, go into drawdown, come to into profit, just around there. And it stayed there for up to, I think, 3 or 4, maybe 2 or 3 hours. He stayed there for quite some time. Then I was just watching it, just kept on watching it play. And this just kept on going on. What is currently happening just kept on going on for up to 3 hours. I mean, what a day. Normally I don't like staying in trades for that long, but I just decided to hold this position. I don't like staying in trade for that long. Normally once I've stayed in trade for up to 4-5 hours, I'm ready to close it. So I ran out of battery power. I had to plug my laptop after a couple of hours, and here it is running. Later on, the thing actually came to 1-to-1, that's $50. Then I moved my stop loss to break even. Then along the line, I think it got up to $60 or thereabouts. Then it started pulling back. I already break even, so it was still consolidating. I was contemplating, do I close it or do I just leave it to run? But in the second thought, I decided to leave it to run. I didn't know that there was a counter trend line, a counter channel that was already forming at that particular eye where the price was, so I didn't know. I left it to run, and then the price just basically rejected that place and ran straight to break even. And that was how I closed the day, with break even. I didn't make loss, I didn't make profit. So that was immediately after this candle that is forming, the price just ran straight to break even. So it's very fast, faster than all the hours I've spent waiting for it to move, and just close that break even. So this is the result. Hey guys, good morning. So for today, what I have on gold is an adjusted channel. So now I adjusted the channel because we still have these two eyes that are meeting each other here. So I adjusted the channel, and we have one touch at this low, we have another touch here, we had one here, and now we have the price currently at this channel support right here, which means there's a possibility for a move upwards. Now I know so many people will be seeing the possibility for this head and shoulders pattern that has formed there. Shoulder, head, the right shoulder, and I know it's a reversal pattern, but it's only a reversal pattern after it has been completed, which means the neckline must be broken. If this neckline is not broken, this head and shoulders pattern is not yet valid. So for now, I'm still going to be looking for a possible reason to enter this pair for a long trade. Also, another confluence is that gold is still on an uptrend. You can see that if we climb up to the 1 hour time frame, you can see that from here we had impulse, we had correction, we had impulse. Now it's normal to expect a correction, but this channel is still intact, so I'm not yet ready for that correction. I'm still expecting to see, for some reason, price pulls up into this eye or this eye. So what I'm going to be looking for will be a reason to take a trade from somewhere around this zone here. So the price will give me a reason for a trade from around that zone, and I'm going to be going long, probably into this highs. I'm not sure, that would be too short, so I'll be going into these highs, or probably even higher into these highs here. So that's what I'm expecting from gold. Alright, so I got an opportunity to take a trade on gold this morning, so I took the trade, and as usual I have to speed up the video so I don't waste time. So just after taking the trade, started moving, and it was moving in my direction where I expected the price to go. I was looking that the price could take out the previous highs far back, but I just wanted to close somewhere around where my TP was, and the trade started playing out. So at some point I had to stop the recording and go do something else. Then I came back at about an hour later to continue the recording, and by the time I came back it was already in drawdown, and I wanted to capture it, taking out my loss, so I had to stay on this one. So at the end of the day I lost this trade. It was a painful one. I know why it was painful, because the market still went my direction. So this right here is the reason why this trade was really painful to me. Now look at where I took the trade from, somewhere around there. My stop loss was below this low right here. Price came, took me out, bounced off this psychological level that's done all this move upwards. So I feel like I didn't have a very good entry, because I entered at a time I wasn't supposed to enter. I have a time where I'm expected to enter the market only after this time, but I entered the market quite early, around there. If I had waited for the time that I'm supposed to enter, all this move would have happened before I came into the market. Now I've got a better entry from somewhere around this zone right here, but it is what it is. I ended up losing this trade, and you can see how far the market has gone in where I expected it to go. If I had got my entry from somewhere around there, I've got a better, in fact I'd have closed the trade with up to 2 to 1 or even more, but it's part of the things we learn every day in the market. So that's going to be all for now. In conclusion, I feel this week was a good week for me. But the reason why I was able to maximize some of my profits was because, number one, I was greedy. Greed was one of the reasons. Then, number two, I wasn't very available. And in the market, we don't know the days that the market is going to move very well and the days that the market will not move. So all these things works on probabilities. So I'll just go straight to the chart and show you the trades I took this week and my post analysis and my reaction from the way the trade played out. So this was the trade I took on Monday. I took a trade on pound JPY. I got my entry from somewhere around there, and I took the trade, and I was targeting 2 to 1, but I ended up closing 1 to 6.9 or 1 to 7, around that. My TP was somewhere around there, so you can see how close the price came to my TP, around there. I think I saw up to $92. Then once the thing started retracing, I looked at the day was almost up, the day was ending somewhere around there. So I decided to take the profits that I already had at $80. So that was why I closed that trade with $80 on pound JPY. This was on Monday. I feel on Monday there was no greed and it was okay. So on Tuesday, this was where greed came into the picture. This was the trade I took on Tuesday, pound USD. So I took this trade on Tuesday, pound USD. This was where I got my entry from, and my stop loss was above this high. Then my TP was supposed to be 2 to 1. Just trying to see how close it came to my TP. I actually saw $97 on this. But where the greed came was that, on Monday I had made $80. So I was looking at, okay, what if I go for $120 today, so that it will just be round figure $200. So I did the screen recording on my MT5. Then I moved my TP straight to $120 and kept it there. So assuming I had left that TP on $100, which was my 2 to 1, by the time I saw 97, I'll see how close it was to my TP. Then the moment it started retracing and rejecting that area, I would have closed it with maybe, worst come to worst, I would have closed it with $70. But because of 120, it still looked far from my TP, so I left it. Then the next thing that came into play was false hope. And once false hope comes into play like this, it gives you the hope that, okay, maybe it will come back, maybe it will come back, maybe it will come back. And once you keep having the hope of maybe it will come back, you'll be surprised we close with nothing. So that was how this trade moved from $97 back to $27. So I lost about $60 or $70 on this trade, I could have closed it with $90, I could have closed it with $80, but because of greed, instead of closing $100, I wanted to close $120. Then instead of just closing at $90 or $80, then false hope came in and made me continue being hopeful that okay, it will come back, and that was how this thing went all the way back to $27 where I closed it. So that was how I lost that money on Tuesday with this pound USD. It was very painful because every day when you break a rule, the market will always punish you for it. Most times the market will punish you for it. So the next day was on Wednesday. On Wednesday, the trade I took was still pound USD. But I wasn't very available on Wednesday because I went somewhere and I was in transit. Normally, I don't like trading if I'm on the road because I can't keep holding my phone, watching the market while I'm on the road. I'll be distracted from both the road and the market. So normally, I like to close my trade. So I took the trade when I was less busy. Then it moved almost immediately. Then just around 1 to 1, I was about to move again. So I couldn't stay in the trade any longer. I just had to close it there. And I saw that this particular trade, if I had left it, I would have made complete 2 to 1, even more than 2 to 1 on it, but it's still fine. Then on Thursday, I still took another trade on pound JPY, and I got my entry from somewhere around this zone right here, and I was targeting 2 to 1 up here. So everything was intact for continuation upwards until I think 2 o'clock or thereabout. Yes, until 3 o'clock when this pin bar formed down here. So I had not drawn this channel at the time. So when I was doing my post analysis, because normally I always like to analyze the market after it has played out to see where I made a mistake and what went wrong if the thing did not play according to what I wanted. So that's when I drew this channel and I saw that the price was just rejecting the resistance of this channel. You can see that we had one low here, we had another low here, we had one high around there. So once I put these two lows together and this high, I got this area as somewhere that could have been a possible reversal zone. So if I had this channel in place when this trade was in play, I would definitely have closed it after this pin bar that formed here. But because I did not have this channel in place, I ended up closing this one at break even. So there was no profit on this. On Friday, I decided to go back to my old friend, which is XAUUSD gold. And once again, gold showed me who the boss is. So I lost the trade on gold anyways. And you can see I lost the trade, but it still went my direction and actually took out my take profit. So during my post analysis, I found out that the reason why I took this loss on gold was simply because I did not draw my channel properly before the time. I was cutting through these lows a lot. Instead of being just around the tip, I cut through it, as in I cut through the low very well. Let me see if I can draw what I had. So I think it was something like this. Something like this was the way I drew the channel. And really, I don't think I drew it very wrongly anyways. The market just did not validate it and decided to go for the lower part because you can see that there was still another touch around here. So personally, I feel it was still, the channel was still okay, but the price just wanted to test that, just wanted it to be that this area was where it was rejecting off. So you can see that the price just immediately came to this area, bounced off the trend line, both the channel support and this psychological level here, it bounced off that area and went straight in profit and even took out my objective before the close of the week. So when this was formed, I actually saw it, but because I had already lost one trade in the morning, I didn't want to take another risk because there's always the possibility of losing it, and I missed out on the actual move, but it's all fine. So at the end of this week, I closed with $101 profit minus 5.53 commission. I closed with $111 profit, which is still okay. It's not so bad, although this week could have been much more better if I was more aware of my levels on Wednesday. If I was more aware of my levels on Thursday rather, I was going to have closed that one with 1-to-1 profit. If I was much more available on Wednesday, I would have closed with full take profit. If I wasn't greedy on Tuesday, I would have closed Tuesday with at least 90 something or $80 at the worst. I would have closed it with $80, but because I wasn't very aware of my levels, I was greedy and I was not available, I just closed the week with $111. So personally, I feel this week was a very, very, very good week for me. So right here, this is my dashboard on funded next. I just recovered 1%. So this is minus 4%. I still have to go. So I believe this week we are going into is going to be a very good week, because at least looking at what this week has done, this week that just finished, looking at what it has done, looks like it's giving good levels to go into the week next week. So I'll keep you all posted, and we'll meet in the next video. Have a lovely day.